Humans have lived on this peninsula and surrounding islands for over 11,000 years. In 1925, Mr. H.R. Holland, an early settler of Eagle Bluff, was the first to organize a Door County Historical Society. His first project was to create a monument honoring the Native Americans who settled in this area. The Potawatomi of the Algonquin Nation were the people to be represented in this monument. Vida Weborg sketched 6 illustrative bands commemorating significant periods of time in the Potawatomi history. The Ephraim Men's Club approved the design and took on the project. A 40-foot pine, which had been struck by lightning, was selected for the pole. The little bear designed on the top of the pole represents the Potawatomi, who were members of the Bear Clan.
Band 1. The Indians hunt deer, a happy life in a land of abundance. We find a solace and a benediction. Take a lesson in serenity from us. Fulfill the destiny as we have ours, and thou wilt be a blessing to others, as we have been to thee.
This is Band 2. The coming of the white man who is received as a supernatural being. The year 1636. The speaker, a 10-year-old boy of the Winnebago tribe. My parents had told me about a supernatural man who came into our land 2 years ago when I was just 8 years old. My father was the only one in our family to see him then. He has told us many stories about this Superman. When he comes again, we're all going to meet his huge canoe. My father said this man was called Jean Nicolet. His canoe holds more men than I have fingers and toes, and they all came from a land beyond the rising sun. Father said that Jean Nicolet made thunder come out of metal sticks he held in his hands, and that he wore a long garment covered with pictures of strange creatures, breathing fire called dragons.
Band 3. The Indians carry their fur trade in their canoes to Montreal, there meeting a new world. The year 1651. They want more and more beaver pelts, and they want us to take the pelts up to the Great Lake on the big river to Montreal. These Frenchmen bring metal knives, glass beads, woolen blankets, and more. We men have to kill more and more beaver to get these things.
Band number 4. Traders bring a new faith. This land, this peninsula, has always been the hunting ground for my people, the Potawatomi. When the French traders arrived, they brought with them many gifts to trade for our beaver pelts. They also brought with them Jesuit priests to record their journey, as they were among the few who could read and write. They conducted mass for the traders, gave last rites to the dying, and they spoke of a new faith to our people. We already had a faith based on our own legends. Our primary interest was just in surviving. For 20 years, Father Andre maintained a mission for the French traders on the shores of the Mink River. When they traded us fish hooks, knives, hatchets, guns, and gunpowder, they also brought strong drink and diseases, new to my people, which spread like wildfire, changing our way of life forever.
Band 5. In the French and English wars, the Potawatomi fought valiantly for their French friends. The year 1833. Our ancestors fought with the French against the British. We were told that the British wanted to steal our lands. We now know that the French also wanted to take our lands, but at the time we believed the French and that they were our friends. It has been 4 generations since we fought with the French against the British. It has been 3 generations since the Americans and the British began fighting each other. and just a generation since the Americans fought against the British to move them north to Canada. Isn't it time to stop the fighting and live in peace?
And now we come to Band 6, the final band on the memorial pole.
August 14th, 1927, Memorial Pole Dedication. We have returned to the land of our ancestors. The whites call it Fish Creek, but we call it Magoshikaning, the place of trout fishing. We have come to honor Chief Kakwaros. The local white men have raised a memorial pole in his name to tell the history of our people in this place. The long, rich history of our tribe lives in these woods still, even though we are long gone. You can find the markers of our spring hunting villages here. You can find the paths that our feet wove through the trees as we hunted and fished. Our people were deprived of our ancestral land by a false deal made by the government with the Menominee. The government agent made a treaty with the Menominee that included all our lands here by Green Bay. But the land was not theirs to give, and not the white man's to take. It was told to me that in 1831, after the deal was struck, the plowshares came into the front of our lodges so quickly that we barely had time to get out the back. And we were spread over the lands of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, and as far away as Kansas. We were once rich in our traditional ways. Now we are poor. But Chief Kakwaros has counseled us away from bitterness. Those who do not listen will die. Do not quarrel or scold one another. We must not hate each other. We must love all the world. So says our chief.
And so it was that on August 14th and 15th, 1927, the memorial pole was dedicated at Peninsula State Park, and its history began. Other notable dates since 1927 include the burial of Chief Kakwatos adjacent to the pole, May 30th and 31st in 1931, when again hundreds attended the ceremony and the Potawatomi came to pay respects to their chief with traditional dances. By 1967, the pole had suffered the ravages of time and weather, and a dedicated group of Door County residents took up the task of replacing the pole. The new pole was put in place in 1970. In 1994 and again in 2011, the pole was painted and restored. Now it is your turn to walk across the land toward the rise near the bay and listen to the wind tell its stories, while you and the little bear of indomitable spirit look over the land.